you'll have to change the directions on your assignment. I printed it off before I typed the new directions. So change the directions. If it ever says about a vertex, just keep it the same thing that we've always been doing, around the origin. Okay? If I'm using 270 degrees counterclockwise, what is the rule? Raise your hand. What is the rule? Emma? Opposite y, comma, x. So for x, what would, Jordan, my opposite y be? Well, what is the y for x? For x. That's the y for y. So -1, so what would be the opposite of that? +1, comma, what's the original x? 3, so that should be your point. And then y, opposite y, Max? And then the x. Good. And the opposite y for z, Jacob?
It would be 5.
And then the x. 1. So your first image, this one over here, should have been in quadrant 4. This is where your first image should have been. Your second image would then end up here, right?
Yeah.
Because you rotate it counterclockwise, this would be 90 degrees, this would be 180, this would be 270. So you can kind of use that to check as well, that you at least have your shape in the right quadrant. Okay, when I do 180 degrees clockwise, Zara, what's the rule? Opposite x and opposite y. So looking at my original ones over here still, what would be my opposite x and opposite y, Sahara? What was your original x for x?
Oh, 3.
Okay, so what's the opposite x?
-3,
-3, what's the opposite y?
Oh,
+1. There we go. And Addie, the opposite x, opposite y for y? Good. And Jude, what would be the opposite x, opposite y for z? Good. So then when you graph these ones, your originals should still be here. So your first image should be in this quadrant, right? And 180 degrees, where would I end up? I'm going clockwise. Yep, 1, 2. It doesn't really matter, right? So your second shape should be in that first one, right? Okay. I'm going to hand out your homework. You are going to have to draw in on your